Hello darlings, in this week's video we're going to be talking about vintage undergarments and whether or not they can help you achieve that classic silhouette that we've grown to love from the 1940s and 50s. So we first need to understand why foundation garments and shapewear were used in the first place. From a 1948 lingerie and foundation wear guide, it says that women's underwear, and more specifically control garments, were said to be beneficial to the health and figure of the wearer. Because when the shoulders are slumped or the back is not held straight, the health and beauty will suffer. And in the world of undergarments in the 1940s and 50s, there were so many pieces that you could wear. You could wear open bottom girdles, panty girdles, girdlettes, waist cinches, corsets, and of course a well-fitted cone-shaped brassiere. And funnily enough, teenagers would wear these shaping undergarments even before they hit their 20s. So generally for young women that would wear these corsets and shaping undergarments, they were designed to be light and not too confining. They allowed the curves and dimples around the hips to be gently smoothed out, and her bra was supposed to give her bust a natural look. Now, undergarments were not the only way to have good posture, but it certainly helped. Women were advised to remember 8 essential points to good posture. Keep your head erect, chin in, chest high, straighten your shoulders, abdomen flat, lower back flat, legs straight, and feet parallel. These all helped a woman achieve the perfect posture to go with her undergarments, and as a whole she was very well presented and beautiful. Now, for a mature woman, it is advised by the Corset and Brassiere Association of America in 1948 to choose a heavier garment to support her breasts and abdomen. Often light boning is used in the garments to help achieve this level of support and flattening to the hips and abdomen. Now, something that is iconic with the bras from the 1940s and 50s is that they separated the bust and it was in a bit more of a conical shape than we're used to today. By modern standards, bras are pushed together and the bust is rounded out. So that is something that is very different, and we have grown accustomed to a smooth looking bust. Now, it is really weird talking about boobs and boob shape, but it is something that has changed so dramatically over the years. So let's dive into this and have a look at what a modern bra looks like and a vintage bra. I've got a couple of bras and shapewear with me. Now, I don't have a big selection of undergarments, but I do have a little bit that I can show you, as well as some images so you can kind of get the idea. Here I have an open bottom girdle, and this is something that you unzip and slide into and then do up. Now, I will say it is very difficult to go to the toilet in one of these, just because you have to pull it all the way down or undo the garter belts. And obviously, pull-up stockings that we know today were not invented in the 40s and 50s. So you literally had stockings that came up to your thigh, and then you attach these to hold your stockings in place. Now, a girdle like this would be used for the average woman, whether she's slim or larger. Now, they all do the same thing, just smoothing over the hips so that it's one seamless line underneath what you're wearing. I will show you what it looks like under clothes so you can kind of see the silhouette of it. Now, here I have a garter belt, which is not for shaping at all. This is literally to just hold up your stockings. All women would have worn this under their clothes if they weren't wearing a girdle or a corset. So here I have a 1940s bra, and this does have a very conical shape. You do have a point. You could knock someone's eye out with this. And there are also some inserts that you can put in here to help fill out the shape. And the bra that I'm wearing at the moment is a long line bra, and this is often used with a girdle, and it kind of meets halfway, and that's giving you that seamless look as well. And they didn't just have conical shaped bras, they also put padding into swimsuits so that you had that slightly conical shape while you were bathing at the beach. Now, the most important thing is you don't have to have these pieces to look lovely in your vintage clothes. You can wear whatever you want under your vintage clothes or vintage reproduction, but these undergarments do give you the most authentic possible look. At the beginning of my vintage journey, I didn't know anything about vintage undergarments. I honestly don't think I even knew that there was such thing as bras and girdles and stuff like that that still existed. So that was just not in my mind, and I was just wearing my regular bra and undies underneath my pieces. I didn't buy anything for at least 2 or 3 years until I realized that there were pieces that you could wear under your clothes to make them look really lovely and really fit the shape of the clothes. A lot of the pieces they made in the 1940s and 50s, the clothes were created for that shape, for that pointy bra, for that nipped in waist. So when you do wear a modern bra with an authentic 1940s piece, you might find that maybe the bust area is a little bit baggy, or it's a bit ill-fitting because the bra that you're wearing is not designed for the dress that you're wearing as well. So when you put on an authentic bra or a reproduction, it really perfectly fits the dress and it just looks really, really nice. You can buy vintage reproduction lingerie from brands such as Shapewear, What Katie Did, and Pip and Pantalamon, if I said that right. There are plenty of other brands. You just need to look up vintage reproduction lingerie and you should be able to find something. They have actual vintage lingerie on Etsy, and if you go into a vintage shop or an antique store, have a look for some vintage lingerie because you never know, there might be some. All in all, I would say save up and invest in a piece of reproduction or actual vintage lingerie, because there's something about putting that on underneath your clothes and just feeling really lovely because you're presented so beautifully, and especially with the bras, it is a bit of a different look, something that you eventually get used to. But once you start wearing these undergarments, you'll never want to pick up a modern bra again. They're just really lovely and they're very flattering and you feel very feminine wearing them. I definitely didn't cover everything you need to know about vintage lingerie, but if you would like to know more, have a look on the Glamour Days website. They have heaps of information there, and they also have links to go buy those vintage reproduction pieces. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something new about vintage lingerie, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye! The boobs, or anything protruding.